Good morning. Are you Mr. Nahson?
Yes, I am. And you must be Mrs. Michelle?
Yes, I am. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Please, have a seat.
Thank you.
Is it still raining?
No, it stopped.
How did you come here?
I drove my car.
Now I will ask you a lot of questions, and of course I expect you to be truthful.
Of course I am.
Please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
You may sit down again. Do you know what kind of promise you just made?
An oath. I believe it is called an oath.
Exactly. And can you tell me why you've come here today?
Because I hope to become a U.S. citizen.
Okay, good. Can you give me your paperwork?
Yes, here are my green card, driver's license, and my passport of Togo.
What is your full name?
My full name is Emmanuel Ginka Nahson.
When did you become a permanent resident of the United States?
Almost 8 years ago.
Have you ever been married?
No, I haven't.
On the form, we have your phone number is 211-555-2824. Is it correct?
Yes, it is.
Your application says that you have had 2 addresses in the past 5 years. One you live now and one other address. Is it true?
Yes, it is. I lived with my brother in the first 4 years in America.
Where do you live now?
I live in 2824 North Glassell Street, Orange, California.
Here are some easy questions. Are you male?
Yes, I am.
What color is your hair?
My hair color is black.
Do you have brown eyes?
Yes, I do.
Did you attend college in Togo?
No, I didn't. I received my bachelor's degree in a country of the United States.
And since graduating from college, have you worked at the same company?
Yes, it is a very good company. I received a promotion.
Very good. I see you traveled outside the United States 3 times in the last 5 years.
Yes, I took 3 trips.
Will you tell me about those trips, please?
Yes, my first trip, my uncle sent me a plane ticket and I visited him in London for 10 days.
And you visited Mexico, too. Was that a vacation?
Yes, last winter I went to Cancun with my brother and my cousin.
What about this 2-day trip to Canada?
I drove to Toronto to work with my boss.
Before we go on, I just want to make sure of one thing. You have never been married before, right?
Right, I've never been married.
Okay. The next part of the application doesn't apply to your case. That's because you've never been married.
Oh, yes.
What about your children? How many sons and daughters have you had? Even though you've never been married, you might have children.
No, I don't have any children.
Now let's move to the next part. Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen in writing or any other way?
No, I never.
You haven't ever voted in this country, have you?
No, I never.
You don't have any title of nobility in a foreign country, do you?
No, I am not a noble man.
Have you ever been declared legally incompetent or been confined to a mental institution within the last 5 years?
No.
What does declared legally incompetent mean?
It means that when a court says that you were unable to understand because of a mental illness or impairment.
Have you ever been a member of or associated with any organization, association, fund, foundation, party, club, society, or similar group in the United States or in any other location in the world?
I am sorry, I must be a little nervous. I do not understand. Could you please say that most lonely?
No need to be nervous. I asked about groups you belong to or have been associated with.
Oh, yes, I remember. My brother told me to join a group that is for peace in my country.
Were you ever a worker, volunteer, or soldier in a detention facility?
No.
What is a detention facility?
It is a place where people are forced to stay.
Were you ever a worker, volunteer, or soldier in a labor camp?
No.
Have you ever been a part of any group, or have you ever helped any group, unit, or organization that used a weapon against any person or threatened to do so?
No.
Have you ever received any type of military, paramilitary, or weapons training?
No, I haven't.
What does training mean?
It is the process of learning these skills that you need to do a job.
Did you ever recruit, enlist, conscript, or use any person under 15 years of age to serve in or help an armed force or group?
No.
By the way, you're doing fine. Your answers are all very good. Now, since becoming a permanent U.S. resident, have you ever failed to file a tax return because you considered yourself a non-resident?
No. I know I must always pay my taxes.
Yes, you need to pay, Mr. Nahson. Have you ever been arrested, cited, or detained by any law enforcement officer for any reason?
Excuse me, what does cited mean?
It means someone is ordered to appear in court or pay a fine for doing illegal things or received a traffic ticket.
Oh, no, I never.
So, have you ever been put in jail?
No, I never.
Have you ever been a habitual drunkard?
No.
What is a habitual drunkard?
It is a person who drinks too much alcohol every day.
Have you ever sold or smuggled controlled substances, illegal drugs, or narcotics?
No.
What does smuggle mean?
It means to take things to or from a place secretly and often illegally.
Have you ever helped anyone enter or try to enter the United States illegally?
No.
Have you ever gambled illegally or received income from illegal gambling?
No.
Have you ever made any misrepresentation to obtain any public benefit in the United States?
No.
Have you ever lied to any U.S. government official to get into the United States?
No, it is not a good idea to lie to the officials.
You are right, Mr. Nahson. Now, are there removal, exclusion, rescission, or deportation proceedings pending against you?
No, there are no proceedings.
Have you ever left this country to avoid being drafted in the U.S. Armed Forces?
No, I've never escaped being put into the Army.
Have you ever applied for an exemption from the military service of the U.S. Armed Forces?
No, I never.
Have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces?
No, I have never been a soldier for the U.S.
Now, do you support the Constitution of the United States?
Yes, I totally support the Constitution and this kind of the government.
Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States?
Yes, I am.
What is an oath of allegiance?
It is a promise to be loyal to the U.S.
If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States?
Yes, I am.
Good. And if the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces?
Yes, I am.
If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction?
Yes, I am.
I assume you've studied the 100 American history and government questions, have you?
Yes, I have.
Let's start with them.
Yes, Mrs. Michelle.
What are two cabinet-level positions?
Secretary of Defense and Secretary of States.
Good. What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence?
Life and liberty.
Excellent. Let's see. How many U.S. senators are there?
100.
And can you say who lived in America before the Europeans arrived?
The American Indians.
What month do we vote for president?
In November.
Very good. And what are the three branches of government?
Executive, legislative, and judicial.
That's enough questions. Could you please read the question on the tablet?
Who is the second president of the United States?
And please write this sentence. Adams was the second president of the United States.
Okay, here you are.
I'm impressed. You've done an excellent job. I can see that you worked very hard to learn English, and you prepared very well for the interview.
I really appreciate you two telling me this.
So, congratulations, you've passed.
Oh, thank God. I am very happy. Thank you so much.
And one more thing. Here is a copy of your naturalization interview results. You will receive a letter shortly to schedule your oath ceremony.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't.
Congratulations again, and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.